Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hold on 1 second. 1 second, brother.
No problem.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had food service.
Oh yeah.
Whew, my bad.
Well, you need some
What's
time to
going
chew.
on? No. You fine. You fine. It was for a post thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me get the camera going. I get my camera on. Ah, you see me?
Ah, Brother Wilkins, I knew you come.
Let me switch this up. Perfect. How are you, man? Sorry about the other week, man. It's a lot going on right now. A lot going on.
It's no problem, man. I understand life gets in the way sometimes. You gotta handle adult shit. I understand.
Yeah. What's going on with you, man? Thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your time. Yeah, shit. To get right into it or whatever, it's just more like I've been doing the podcast for a while, and
What's a while?
5 years last month. No,
wow.
5 years a month before. So January. So within that time frame, you do a podcast as well. You do some kind of broadcast and social media. You network, you meet people and everything. And sometimes your homeboys will recommend somebody else that they know. So coming from Codex Prime is like, hey man, you need to reach out to Jabba Tears, man. I was like, okay, yeah. And I heard it, and I just kind of threw it in the back or whatever in my mind and whatnot. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get to that. And then I messed with Carl and on all them or whatever, and he'd be like, hey man, you need to reach out to Jabba Tears, man. I was like, all right, yeah. You did tell me that. I'm gonna get that. And then I started getting back to doing I started a side project, Wrestling is Trash.
Oh, okay.
That we do. It's not frequently, but I mean, we get together every now and then or whatever. And I was just like, I need to talk to people who like wrestling like I do. And then I was like, that motherfucker told me about Jabba Tears.
Yeah.
So let me reach out into the ether of the internet and see if we can make this happen or whatever.
Yeah.
But previewing and looking at some of the stuff that y'all do, especially your conversation about Bow Wow and people in the like or whatever, I realized, and I told this to somebody the other day that I recorded with, I like professional wrestling. Y'all motherfuckers love professional wrestling. Because I mean, I was telling him, I was giving examples or whatever. He's like, man, I was like, I like wrestling. If I have the opportunity to go to a show, I mean, I'll go. I ain't gonna break an appointment or nothing like that. But I know people who chose meet and greets over food. That's how much they love wrestling. I was like, nah, play. I gotta eat, man. I'm already a thin little dude or whatever. I gotta get some sustenance or whatever, man. It's but just watching your product, hear people talking about you and everything. I was like, y'all motherfuckers love wrestling, and I can't be mad at that.
Nah, there's a real love for it. This Bow Wow thing, I gotta. It was a very polarizing moment in my little short podcast career. Either people were for me or people were like, nah, bro, you're wrong on this one. So yeah.
And that's the thing about it, man. It's just your opinion. It's your thoughts on the situation, whatever. I mean,
but it was something that, like, I knew he wasn't taking it seriously, brother. That was the thing for me. It was like, I was like, I know you're not taking this, huh?
I said, you doubled down on it. I was like,
I know you're not taking this seriously at all. This is all for clout right now. Mm-hmm. And supposedly he hasn't showed up to wrestling school yet.
Yeah. And that's on brand for Mr. Shad Moss, whatever his name is nowadays. Because didn't we had that controversy not too long ago with him to where he was stunting on with a fake plane in the car and shit, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is on brand. I mean, you were right in your assumptions in the moment.
But you know what's funny, brother? I have posted, so I do a segment on IG, and now I post it on Twitter called Coffee Talk. Mm-hmm. And I had posted it on IG. You know, I've tossed it up. I gave my point of why I think this is. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little aggressive on it. I'm a New Yorker. What do you expect?
Yes.
And within, I would say, 3 minutes of me posting it, Bow Wow's in my comments.
Word.
He's in my comments. He's like, yo, it's crazy. As soon as you get on the internet, you see people trying to pull you down, trying to this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yo, bro, come on the podcast and talk about it if you're really serious about this. He's like, you could have DM'd me. You could have DM'd me about this if you were serious. I was like, yo, prove me wrong. And all he's been doing is talking, hasn't done anything, hasn't been really doing anything. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm over that, though. But it just bothered me when people just, like you said, I love this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because damn, I was just like, that motherfucker got to be vanity searching his name. That's all it is. Because if somebody like you would, because y'all was talking about the analytics of things or whatever, he got 3 million followers, but only so many social interactions and shit like that, right? If you that high in on the totem pole or whatever, I mean, if you all high and mighty, you all this and that or whatever, I'm not on my Twitter 24/7 searching for every motherfucker that mentioned my name and shit. He had to go in the search bar in his app or on his computer or however you do it and type in his name to find specifically the shit that is catered to him that is not at it with his name and shit.
Because you couldn't add him on Instagram at all. Yeah. So he had to do that. I don't even know how you do that. Yeah. I don't know how you do that because I asked a friend who's like in that social media world. She was like, she's like, it's called, like you said, it's called a vanity search. Mm-hmm. But she was like, I don't know how they do it though. Mm-hmm. So that's some, like you said, some upper chill, like I'm up there, 2 million followers type of person. I'm not there yet. Yeah. On that type of level.
Yet. I like how you said that.
Yeah. But how long? But 5 years? How have you stayed consistent for 5 years?
Man, it's almost out of habit now. It's just like I know what I have to do, and I just make the time. And you know, my wife gives me leeway to do it. So I mean, it's just muscle memory at this point, man.
And how did you start doing it though?
Oh, retiring out of the military. I started finding podcasts and everything. I was listening to them first, and I was just like, man, it's just a bunch of friends bullshitting, having a good time. I do this consistently. I do this daily with my brothers and sisters in the military and shit. I said, this is all we do. Why can't I do the same thing? So I was a fan of podcasts, and I was like, it sounds fun. Let me try it. Because the original plan was to write a book of all my memoirs in the military and shit, but have my friends tell stories in the book or whatever. I was like, fuck that typey shit. You know, I could just turn on a recorder and say what the fuck I'm gonna say and it'd be out there. You know? Yeah. So that's what it started as, but then I retired and got out of the military, and I didn't have access to people like how I would like to. Because I mean, I lived that life for so many years, and I know how it is when you're in it. You know, you either at work, or you're trying to sleep, or you're trying to be with your family, and it's just real taxing and everything. And I felt like, you know, I didn't want to add to, you know, extra thing to those people's lives and whatnot.
Yeah.
I know they're my people. I know if I asked, they would do it. But I mean, that's just kind of my viewpoint on the thing. And being in the military so long, it's a linear way of thinking. It's like you get up, you go to work, you do the job, you go home, you go to sleep, you get up, you do the work, you do the job, you go home and go to sleep. It's the same shit. It's nothing changed. I wore a uniform. I wore the same shit every day. And then when I got out of the military, I kind of fell into a job to where I wear the same shit every day. I was like, God damn, I need to find some clothes. But I started reaching out to random people that I wouldn't talk to normally, people that have a different viewpoint than myself, because being away from the military is a rediscovering of self, because I only thought one way for so long. Now I got to figure out who the fuck am I really am and what's next for me moving forward. So this kind of wind up being some part of the thing that is, me trying to learn life after and shit,
What branch in the military did you serve?
Marine Corps.
Okay, that's awesome. I almost joined the military in high school.
Who saved you?
So it was my friends per se, because I always wanted to join because I thought it was cool. I didn't know the shit that you actually go through. I just saw the commercial on fucking TV, the guns, whatever, and then you just travel the world. So one day I'm in, I think it was either history class or math class, whatever. And one of the dudes in the class was already preparing to, this is in high school. He's already preparing to go to the military. Like, I don't know what they call it when like, you're not old enough to go in, but you're about to like go into the military, some type of program, whatever.
Yeah, you're the delayed entry program.
So I was like, yo, I just randomly, I was talking shit for the most part. And I was like, yo, I always thought about going into the military. He's like, word? You serious about that? Some Hispanic dude. I was like, yeah. He's like, all right. I thought that was it. That was the conversation. No big deal. And the next day, I'm walking out of school with my friends. It's the end of the day. Same Hispanic cat. I see him pointing at me from across the schoolyard.
You got the recruiter on you.
And then right behind him is a dude in a full military outfit, like army fatigue. And I go, why is he pointing at me? And then they walk up to me and the recruiter goes, yo, you're Wilkins? I was like, yeah. He's like, come with me. We got to talk.
He done gave you the 411 and everything.
I was like, he's like, I heard you want to be in the military. I was like, he's like, get in the car. Let's go talk. We're going to talk about this. So I hop in the car. I don't know why I listened. I just got in the car. My friend's like, yo, where you going? Don't join.
You my ride.
So I get in his car, whatever. We get to the recruitment place. They make me take a test. And I take the test and I'm half-assing the test, whatever. I forget what the test's name is.
The ASVAB.
I finished doing the test. He's like, not bad. And you didn't really study or nothing? Okay. They make me watch some video for the army, whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this. He's like, listen, you travel the world. You're gonna get paid to be in the military and go to school.
True.
Don't listen. Your friends don't pay for your future. Your friends ain't gonna take care of you. We will. I ain't gonna lie. That presentation, he kind of killed it because for a split second, I thought about it. And I was like, nah, no point. And I remember I went back to my boy's house.
Well, before you go further than that, he took you from school and brought you over there for you to tell him no. So how was that car ride back?
No, I said I'll think about it. I never said no. I ain't stupid.
Okay.
I ain't stupid. I said y'all think about it. Maybe something I really might want to do. I just need to ride back home, back to the school. He's like, yeah, I got you. So he drove me back. I hopped on the bus and I went to my boy's house. All my boys like, nah, the military ain't for black people. But I had one whose brother was in the Air Force. And he was just like, yo, listen, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But if you want to do it, my brother's in the Air Force. He got 2 houses, one in Germany, one in California. He making money. He be flying jets and shit. He be doing crazy cool shit. And he got a gun. So if you want to do it, I wouldn't be against it. But if you don't, I understand. And I was like, that might be an idea. I never ended up doing it at all. But it was always like, I never saw the, hold on one second.
Yeah.
I got the Chappelle show blasting in the background.
And you got a gun and shit too.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. And I was like, hey, I'm a 16, 17-year-old. I was like, yo, you got a gun, you getting bitches, and you go across the world. Why not? But then I end up not doing it. I kind of, sometimes I wish I did, because it gave me that mega structure in my life. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where my life would have, gone if I have done that. But then I also see a guy like you. You seem like you're doing really well. Mm-hmm. But I've also seen guys I'm a personal trainer, and I've seen guys who've been in Desert Storm, who've been in little wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And these aren't major wars, but they come back with some stories like, yo, yeah. And I'm like, oh. Because I probably would have been in either Iraq or Afghanistan if I went in.
Yes, most definitely. When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2005.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because I tell you, because I joined in 2000. Mm-hmm. And I say majority of my 16 years was in service to the Iraq and Afghani war and shit. So
really,
since 9/11, I've been going over there.
Wow.
So yeah, no doubt you would have been more than once.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, maybe that wasn't, you know what I mean? But I do respect men and women like you though, for doing that, regardless of your reason of doing it, you guys put your life on the line to protect this country that doesn't even fucking love y'all 100%.
Yeah. And it's double because
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Imagine when was it? I had to do a history thing. I was reading up some stuff. I remember when we went on our first curfew in New York. I don't know if where are you from? I don't know if you're from New York or are you from
I am from Louisiana, living in Texas now.
Okay, so New York during the when COVID happened, we ended up having a curfew, whatever, blah 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 blah. The first time we ever really went on a curfew was back I think it was right after World War II, and some black soldiers came back, and they were being treated like shit. And they just came back from war, and they're being treated like shit when they got back to Harlem. And a huge riot ended up starting, whatever. And that was the one time New York was on a curfew because shit was about to explode because of racial tension.
Yeah.
And so I that's why I respect men and women like you, especially, the ones of color who go across, do their thing and then come back and
business as usual.
Yeah. So but I still think it's the dopest thing in the world. I love reading about Marines who do these crazy workouts and they're mentally to the next level, somewhat crazy, but you know what? You still you're fucking amazing. Yo, you're just so cool. How do you do this? But yeah, I couldn't do it though. I couldn't pull myself to do it, but shout outs to y'all, bro.
I mean, hey man, you can do anything, man. Don't never tell yourself you can't. I mean, but I look at it this way. You say you almost went, you think about it if what would have happened if you had went and things like that, but are you happy where you are now?
To be honest, yeah, man. It's that little bit of what if, but then it's still yo, if I didn't go there, would I have a wrestling podcast and a network right now?
Yeah.
Would I be dating my amazing girlfriend right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things. Like life is life. You gotta take it for what it is, and you can create whatever chapter. And I don't. And if I really want to join, I can join tomorrow. I'm not 100% too old to go in. I think there's a couple that I'm not past the age limit yet.
You got time. You got time.
Yeah. So
you can get at least 1 or 2 enlistments under your belt right now.
1 or 2. Wow.
Yeah, it's 4-year terms.
Oh, whew, shit.
Yeah. So
yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, it's you say that because like a couple days ago, I sat over there in the kitchen at the kitchen table with my wife, and she just straight up asked me, she's like, if you never met me, where do you think you would be right now? And I was just like, damn, that is a profound question, because honestly, I don't fucking know, you know?
Really?
Because
she helped turn your life around or something? Like,
yeah, I mean, I met her at the peak of my career. It was just like I was going up and like the halfway mark, pretty much. I was at the top on the downslope, pretty much. And I met her at the top. And you know, I can't honestly think about what I would be doing right now if I hadn't met her. Because
really,
you know, we met and she helped me. She didn't do it for me. You know, she gave me the tools to fix it myself, you know, and I'm forever in her debt for that, you know. And I came from a broken marriage previous to that. I came to this relationship with 2 older children. So
wow.
She took them in, made them her own, and then now we have a child together of our own. So, I mean, and to think about what my life was before her is just like, whew, whew, whew. I mean, I can give you some stories, but I mean, you know, there was no structure there. And she'll be the one to tell you, I mean, I had my own crib and shit, but damn, you open up my refrigerator, it was a whole bunch of freaking microwave meals and shit, you know? Because, I mean, it was like what I was telling you, man. You get up, you do the job, you go home, you go to sleep, you get up, you do the job, you go home, you go to sleep. And that's, since I didn't have the people around me, like her, and at the time I didn't have my kids with me, because they was in Louisiana with my parents, not their mama.
Okay.
So it was just me. And that was a lot of shit to deal with because my kids are there. I'm by myself in states away, because I was in South Carolina at the time and they in Louisiana. So it's just, I turned into a robot, man. I get up, do the same shit every day, go to sleep, plug in the charger, get charged up, go on, do the work, come home, do the shit. And then that's what it was. But then I meet this lady and she got me out of debt, helped me. She didn't do it for me. And it's just fucking great, man. It's no words to describe this shit because I'm getting it. But it's I told her I would probably be worse off than what I am. And I'm not saying it'll be totally bad, but like when I was at that stage to where I was by myself, it's like I just threw myself into the job. And I know I probably would have wound up on more deployments than what I already had, because shit, when I went to Iraq, I went 3 times, and then I went once to Afghanistan. Have you ever seen this movie called The Hurt Locker?
Yes.
So what it was like for me, I mean, I ain't talking about it was that extreme and shit, but just like his mindset, he went there and he was comfortable doing his job. But when he got home to like with his wife and his kid and shit, he was just like, oh man, this is like how you would hear wrestlers, you know, they on the road 24/7, you know, 360 something days a year. And then when they get home and get on break, they're like, ugh, dog, I need to get back on the road. You know, that's how it was for me, man. I go out on deployment, you know, make all this extra money and shit and just damn do the job. And it was just, that's just what it was. And then when you get home, it's just like, you got so many distractions and shit, because theirs is just like, it's just the job. There's nothing else to do but the job. And then you get home and then there's distractions and all this other shit that you have to deal with when you don't have to worry about that shit over there. The only thing you got to worry about over there is your job and living. Here you got to worry about this and that and all this other shit, bills and all this other crap. And it's just simpler over there. So I would probably be doing a hell of a lot more than that. And then that's probably been it. I'd probably still be in right now. I probably never got out.
Jesus, man. My current girlfriend, we do a long distance relationship. She's in North Carolina. I'm in New York. We're relatively new. I've never met a woman that really changed my life, because I have a good amount of friends that's like, yo, my girlfriend changed my life, blah, 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 blah. But this one, I think if we stay together, I think she would be like the catalyst of me being a better man. But that's a beautiful thing, man. That's absolutely gorgeous that happened.
Yeah. And it's like what you said, man. If she didn't respond to me, or had I just made a different decision in life, I mean, it could have altered this whole goddamn thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because I wound up in South Carolina because I was tired of North Carolina, you know? So had I chosen to go anywhere else, I would have missed it.
I don't think so. I think everything happens I think everything happens if it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You could have met her on a vacation or something you were going on.
Well, I mean, what happened to get me here? That was the thing that was meant to happen, because I had other options and other things, because like, case in point, I wanted to go on recruiting duty. I wanted to be that guy snatching kids up from high school and throwing them in the back of my car. So at one point in time, I wanted to do that. So I put in the paperwork for it. I did my package. I got approved to go to recruiting school. So at this point, I was going to be leaving and going off for X amount of time to go to recruiting school. So I had to pack up my house, put all my shit in storage, send my kids to Louisiana, because at that time they were living with me, and, you know, just wait to get my plane ticket to go to California and do recruiting school. So during this time, I just dodged the deployment because I was going to recruiting school. I was like, hey man, I'm going recruiting. I ain't getting on this goddamn deployment. I think that would have been my second or third one. I was like, man, I don't want to go over there again. So going on recruiting duty would have got me out of the deployment. So I'm waiting to go to recruiting school, and my chain of command leaves. They go on the deployment. So when your command leaves, they have a skeleton crew that stays back, or sometimes they pull somebody else to be that hierarchy for the people that remain behind. So they had a sergeant major that just so happened to fill in, who came from the recruiting school that I was getting ready to go to. So he showed particular interest in me because I was going to the place that he came from. So he grabbed my package and everything, he looking it over. And what got me out of going to recruiting school is my tattoos.
Really?
So the policy changed over time. You know, when I joined it, you couldn't, when I came in 2000, you couldn't join service with more than 7 tattoos. And, you know, if they connected, they considered it one tattoo. So I gamed the system and I got an ass load of tattoos, but I made sure they touched at certain points so it can be considered one tattoo and shit, right? Because I was young. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I knew I wanted some tattoos, and you wasn't going to tell me what the hell to do with my goddamn body. And fuck it. So, and when I joined, I got even more because I was in. What you going to do now? You going to put me out for some tattoos? Motherfucker. Ha ha. Game in the system. But over time, the tattoo policy started changing. So when it refers to recruiters, vice drill instructors, the policies are very different. Because if you're a recruiter, you're going to be out in the public. You're selling that image of the Marine Corps. So they don't want you to have all this crazy shit all over your arms and shit when you're out there in your uniform trying to be pristine and cute for the people.
Yeah.
But if you're a drill instructor and you training the people to be Marines and you getting in their ass and having them doing push-ups and all this other shit, they don't give a fuck how many tattoos you got. So he brought me in the office. gave me the whole bunch of bullshit about like, yeah, you got accepted to have the opportunity to go to recruiting school. But when you get there, they are not going to accept you because of your tattoos. So it's going to be the waste of the chain of commands money to send you out there knowing that you're going to get disqualified. So I'm going to just put I'm going to cancel this shit right now. Pretty much what he said. So I leave out, career counselor pulled me to the side, show me the email that he CC'd her on.
Mm-hmm.
He already sent it up to the chain of command at the recruiting school. Hey, he got all these tattoos or whatever, and don't even worry about that shit. So canceled my orders. So I'm like, well, shit, at least they left and already went on deployment. I ain't got to go. Hey, player, we got the freaking follow behind crew going. You can get on the plane with their ass and deploy. So sent my ass over again. Haters. And it was weird because I mean, it just changed over time because when my recruiter recruited me, he had more tattoos than I currently have now. So it's just times change.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. Wow.
So I wind up my ass on another deployment. And by that time, I was just like so used to being over there. It was just like, it was almost comical to me because I was used to the environment and the shit that would go on. To see like junior Marines and, you know, being their first deployment and shit, really their first year or so in the military and going out there and they just like, oh shit, what the fuck? I was like, I'm just sitting there like, man, calm the fuck down. I said, you'll live, you'll be all right. You can go back and tell them some cool stories or whatever. Because I mean, it wasn't that bad in my experience. I mean, there's people that had it way worse. And like, I would go back and fuck with the new Marines and shit, right? Because I am assault dog, got this stack of shit from all these deployments and junk. And, you know, I never really had any mishaps out there. But we've got smallpox vaccinations. And if you get those vaccinations, they leave you with a little small scar. So it's similar to a bullet wound. So I would go back and stun on their ass like, yeah, man, I got shot in the arm. We was in combat. I showed them my smallpox scar and shit. They was like, oh, word, dog, man, you hard, man. And I was like, nah, man, I'm just fucking with you, dog. I said, don't be believing all them damn stories motherfuckers come back here and tell you. They probably lying to you. I went with them and they ain't do shit because I wasn't doing shit.
Jesus fucking Christ. That is crazy.
But I mean, and as far as wrestling go, man, I missed a great chunk of time because of those deployments. I was there during the time frame when Eddie Guerrero died and Rey Mysterio won the championship. So I missed all that shit. And I heard about it secondhand and I was like, oh, baby, no, not Eddie. Oh.
That's crazy. It was I missed a small time of not watching wrestling. It was like like a good 2-3 years I didn't watch. It was my early 20s-ish, like after college I stopped watching because I was promoting so at the time I graduated college, or no, I had graduated with my associate's degree and I was thinking about going to get my bachelor's. So there was some time that I wasn't in school. I was just working. I was early 20s, had my first apartment.
Hell yeah, you ain't worried about no damn wrestling.
I was wilding the fuck out. Like, I look back at it, I was like, yo, I can't complain because I was promoting in nightclubs in New York City. I had my own place. I had my boys coming in and out my crib. Like, it was fucking awesome. And then I started catching back up on it. Then at the time I was working with this nightclub promotion company that owned like a couple of nightclubs in New York. They were called Top Tier Hospitality. And they just opened up a new sports bar. They bought a new sports bar called like Highland Park. Mm-hmm. And it was Survivor Series, I think it was. Yeah, it was Survivor Series. And they had done Survivor Series in New York at the time, at Madison Square Garden. So they were like, Wilkins, go check out our bar. It's on this spot, go check it out. I went with my best friend. And me and him walk in there and they had Survivor Series on the screen. And I was like, oh, holy shit, they got fucking WWE on. Why isn't this bar fucking packed? Like, this makes no sense. Like, it's Survivor Series. This shit should be packed in here.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe 2 or 3 tables watching it, and something clicked. I was like, yo, there's something here, and I gotta figure out what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I was living in Manhattan, and the bar was in Manhattan. So I had to take the 6 train uptown to go home. And I'm seeing a ton of people walk onto the train. They have their belts in their hands. They got their T-shirts. I'm just like, I got an idea. So I started doing research about WWE pay-per-view viewing parties in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking. This is like early Google years, not Google years. It's like, what is this, like 9 years ago? So it's like 2011, 2012-ish, whatever. So I'm Googling shit. I'm like, yo, there's none. Nobody really does one. But I did. So I fall onto this one group of New York United Wrestling Fans, the United Wrestling Fans of New York. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it was like I don't know if you ever heard of Meetup group.
Yeah.
Meetup.com. It was Meetup.com. It's no longer really relevant that much, but it was relevant at the time. So Meetup was Facebook groups before Facebook groups. Yeah. If anybody who's listening and watching this. And I was like, oh, so I found them. I was like, yo, would you guys be interested in coming to a WWE viewing party if I were to throw some? And would you guys want to be part of it as well? So the owner of the group hit me up right away, like in like a couple of hours. And he's like, yeah, I would totally be down. I was like, yo, let's meet. I will always thank the owners of the company, of the bars, for giving me this chance. So I went to them. I was like, yo, I have an idea. How about WWE pay-per-view viewing parties? They were like, what? I was like, pay-per-view viewing parties for WWE. They're like, I don't understand. I was like, people go see Super Bowl parties. Mm-hmm. People go into bars for Super Bowl parties. They watch Sunday Night Football with their friends. And it's a lot of times it's packed.
Yeah.
But what about for wrestling? They were like, they loved me. They were really good to me, and they knew I worked hard. I wasn't the biggest, some big time promoter that worked with them. I was just Wilkins. I was at the time I was interning for them. So they're like, Wilkins, do what you want to do. This is whatever. So then I had a meeting with the owner of the Meetup group with the owners, and the owners were like, yo, we can do something here, whatever. I use my promoting knowledge to promote the event. And I think we did Royal Rumble in 2012. Royal Rumble 2012. And we did it. I promoted it. Had no email database. This was all posting on different. I was using club websites to promote it.
Word.
We come in there, 200 people show up.
Word.
200 people show up, and I actually met my best friend, my female best friend, and now my co-host of the Job and Tears podcast at the first viewing party. This is 2012. Tons of people showed up, and they were in shock. The owners were in shock. They're like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like,
it was packed to the brim. Like, it was a ton of people there. And then I ended up doing it for the next 9 years. Every month I do a pay-per-view viewing party for WWE for the past 9 years. It's been ups and downs, of course, but if we do 10 a year, if we do 12 a year, at least 8 of them are like good amount of fucking people.
Okay.
We've had different wrestlers come through.
Word.
We had different wrestlers host. Rikishi hosted one. Al Snow hosted one. Shad Gaspar, rest in peace to him. He's been at a couple. Like JTG. Like, it was a community. And one of the biggest things, it was other Black wrestling fans. Like, everybody of different races and creeds coming there, but it was majority Black wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. And one of the greatest compliments I'll ever appreciate was when this one dude walked in and he was like, "Yo, this is like the Wakanda for wrestling fans."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, man. Here's the menu. Enjoy yourself, brother."
Yeah, go sit your ass down. It's 2-drink minimum.
It is a 2-drink minimum. It's 20 minimum $20 you got to spend on food and drink. So, but yeah, but it's always been that was one of the best experiences. And then out of the viewing parties, the podcast came, and but before I started doing that, I started getting back into it, and this was like towards the end of the ruthless aggression era, going into like the PG era. Cena's becoming the top dog, Cena doing his thing and everything. You know what's funny? Now that Cena's gone, I have a newfound appreciation for the dude.
Yeah, I built that up around when he got the United States title, started doing the open challenges and shit, man. Yeah. I was like, oh, he that dude. And then when he came back and he filleted the shit out of Roman ass or whatever, oh boy. I was like, yeah.
Bro, he took Roman to school.
And see,
to school.
I mean, to speak about current events and everything, I kind of wish that was the payoff for Roman, man. Just damn, have Cena come back and have that match. Because, I mean, they got history there. They got some shit they need to finish up with.
It's not going to happen because...
I know.
But we know why. It's not because it's like he doesn't want to. Cena's just busy as fuck.
Yep. He turned into The Rock. He turned into the thing that he said he hated the most at the time.
He's getting them checks.
Yeah, and you can't blame nobody for that. Because I speak with venom when it comes to The Undertaker or whatever, because that motherfucker pissed me off so bad. But I cannot be mad at a man for providing for himself and his family. So, I mean, that's
it's wrestling. It is like
a lot of times we think they owe us something or whatever.
Yeah, but they don't. And then also, like, I never get mad because most wrestlers, about 90, matter of fact, all of them, man, you don't make shit in the beginning.
No.
You don't make nothing. Like, I'm training right now just in wrestling, and I have a few friends, you wrestle on the independent scene. And let's say it's your first 2 or 3 years, you're making $25.
Yeah, if that sometimes.
If that.
Dog, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to an independent show, like, because all I knew was WWE. That was my bread and butter. I mean, that we were all titty fed on that shit.
Yeah.
And when I started going to like no shit legit independent shows, like in high school gym type independent shows, dog, I just, my respect for wrestlers just went, because you hear the stories. Hot dog and a handshake. Dude, I went to an independent show most recently and I almost had a panic attack because I seen a fucking fold out table and they had the freaking the crock pot warmers and they had hot dogs on the table. I was like, no, they are not about to pay these motherfuckers in hot dogs. That's
how it is. That's how, and it's like you risking your life.
Yes.
Every time you go out there, and not to be negative, but that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you take a bump, it is scientifically proven that you're in a mini car crash.
Yes.
As soon as you hit your back hits that mat, that's a mini car crash that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting paid this little bit of money. A lot of them have
your life.
Yeah, you're shortening your life. A lot of them have like regular jobs to kind of pay for things, but it's you're doing this because you really love it. You're not doing this because for the fame. Like, there's fame involved.
Yeah, and you might get there eventually, but not right off top. Nah,
not right off top. Like, people who get there kind of close, maybe you might get 2 years, 3 years. You might 3 years, 5 years. guys like Keith Lee took like 15, 10 years just to get to WWE. And then let's say you get to WWE, you still might not make it in WWE or AEW.
I mean, there's proof of that now.
Tons of proof of it. Like it's you really are sacrificing everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the right. You got to be with the right type of woman or man or guy.
Yeah.
Or whatever floats your boat to support you throughout that process. Because if they don't, you are finished.
I mean, and what what gave me a deeper respect or whatever. I mean, everything that you just described, being away from your family, sacrificing your life, putting your life on the line. I mean, that's akin to the military in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, I chose to do that shit for damn near all of my adult life so far,
Yeah.
So it's just like the same thing for them.
Yeah, and it's like they didn't get paid shit. Like it's like, yo, I remember when I was talking to a promoter, and there's one particular wrestler, I won't say her name. Her rate was, and it was weird because a part of me was like, damn, her rate is high.
Mm-hmm.
But then another part of me was like, she deserves it. Yeah. But damn, her rate is high. But then it's like, her rate was high, but it wasn't what industry standard.
Mm-hmm.
But she had a name, and she was really good at what she did.
Yeah. And that's the sacrifice you got to make as a promoter as well, because I mean, the higher the talent you get in, I mean, the more money that you can draw within the promotion, even when they're not there. Because who are they going to have at the next show?
Exactly. And it's so much to it, but I respect wrestlers so much, which is why I went off on the whole Bow Wow thing. Mm-hmm. to bring back to that. Like, I get it, homie, you want to come into this sport. Yo, come on in. But don't talk shit about it. Don't come in humbly. Like, yo, there's people who really bust their ass, who lost their lives, who had injuries that they can't walk anymore, can't move certain body parts. Like, have you seen Ric Flair's forehead? It is filled with
Have you seen Devon's forehead?
Exactly. Like, they're sacrificing their body, they're shortening their lives. And the other day I see fucking Soulja Boy going off with Randy Orton, and everybody was like, oh, this is hilarious. Like, yo, they are becoming more relevant because of the internet wrestling community.
Yeah.
There's a reason why multiple media outlets are picking these up, because the wrestling community just made them hot on social media.
Mm-hmm. And did you hear the underlying conspiracy about why all this is happening all of a sudden?
Why?
Because it's just something stupid or whatever, but it's our own little conspiracy. Big E was talking about it, and I think Botchamania dude, Matthew. What if this is all like a plot to get Def Jam to release another Def Jam Fight for New York?
Oh, I saw that. And you know what? I would love it. I would love it.
Please.
I would love it with that same engine. I would fucking love it. But the thing about it, it's not because of that. It's because people are seeing something that's been ignored for years, actually. Mm-hmm. They've been ignored since the Attitude Era. When the Attitude Era was over, the amount of money in pro wrestling, the amount of fame you get in pro wrestling. Like, imagine this. The wrestling fame world is the bizarro world to the real fame world.
Yeah.
Because, honestly speaking, it does. Because CM Punk said, I'm not a huge fan of CM Punk's attitude sometimes, but the man be spitting facts sometimes. Mm-hmm. He said it doesn't matter how famous you are in wrestling, mm-hmm. you ain't that famous in the real world.
No. Bars.
So a guy like Bow Wow, Soulja Boy, who's lost their relevancy, people still know him. I'm not gonna deny that, but he's not as famous as they were. They come into that, they feel huge again. They feel famous again. They feel, cool again because of the internet wrestling community. We make you relevant and cool, and then you make a shit ton of money. TNT is throwing the bag at AEW, and they're not even hitting 1 million views a week.
No.
Fucking Vince just signed a $1 billion deal with Fox.
With a B.
They signed another $1 billion deal with NBC to put the network on the Peacock streaming service. Like, tons of money is being thrown because people that know, they know that, like, I can put on Raw. Yeah, it's not doing 3 million, 4 million views like it used to do back in the day, but it's doing 2 million views a week. 2 million views in this current era.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, I was reading recently that their clips online, like YouTube.
Oh yeah. Just the clips alone get more than what they get on TV, It's
doing crazy numbers. Crazy numbers.
Especially when you get like a clip with just like Alexa Bliss in it. Those shits just...
Because niggas is nasty. Pardon my language. But some of these boys are just pervs, boy.
Yeah.
Alexa's a beautiful woman, but it's just
I don't understand the appeal to a grown man that a girl look like a little kid. I don't get it.
Yo, you'd be surprised, man. Like, I saw something really gross today. You remember that girl that was like the Mega Bailey fan?
Oh yeah, the Izzy post. Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Like, how old is she? She like, what is he, 14, 15?
I don't even think she's 15 yet. I don't think. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that.
For people who are listening.
But she's young.
She's not of age. Let's put it like that. And she looks young. Also say that too.
Yes.
So, for people who are listening and, watching this, we're talking about the Mega Bailey fan. She was a Mega Bailey fan. She posted the other day of her working out.
Mm-hmm.
She's flexing, whatever, doing some cute little girl shit. And she posted on Twitter. And there are grown men in the comments like, yo, you're hot. When are you releasing merch? I want to support you. This and that. Like, yo, bro, like, there's grown pussy out there. Why are you being a perv?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the stuff about the merch, cool. I mean, if you want to... Nah.
There was a hidden agenda on that one. You a nasty man, son.
Oh, you know what? All right, yeah, when you put it like that, all right, I got you.
Nah.
Hey, could you wear it and send it to me?
Yeah, like, little nasty motherfuckers.
But a company that you brought up, AEW.
Yes.
Way back when you was you had this epiphany, but like, wow, we can do these viewing parties and everything. I mean, it's safe to say that WWE was king. I mean, that was all that wrestling was, during that time frame and everything. But now that we have a company such as AEW, and then we have the others that are coming up along like Impact and MLW, and ROH is starting to have a resurgence as well. I mean, what is your overall outlook on professional wrestling as is right now?
Professional wrestling it's booming, but it's not booming because the pandemic slowed it down.
Yeah.
But it's at a beautiful, beautiful place, in my opinion, where you have so many... Wrestling is always behind.
Yeah.
When it comes to what's going on currently in the world. Music is always ahead. Wrestling is always last on like the entertainment side. Mm-hmm. So what has happened is that I love using music and comparing it to wrestling. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, before you had major labels. And then now you can, go on SoundCloud or whatever.
Throw a rock and hit one.
throw a rock and hit one. And there's so much music being released. It's absolutely ridiculous now.
Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. There were like 5 albums just dropped just now.
Exactly. And that's where wrestling is at right now. AEW, I watch it weekly. I have my issues with it. I have my issues with WWE. I have issues with it, but it's a beautiful thing because what we spoke about earlier, where you have guys who bust their ass on the independent scene game, paying $50 maybe, or a hot dog and a handshake. And now with AEW being around, MLW, NWA, you have, like you said, ROH. There's more opportunity for people to make legit money doing what they love.
Yeah.
So my current look at it, it's a beautiful thing because even though the dream job is always WWE, you can still make your dream come true and provide for your family. Because a lot of these wrestlers have family.
Yeah.
They have a wife, they have kids, and
they wind up acquiring one along the way.
Exactly. And there's plenty of wrestlers who are at a point right now. There's a wrestler right now, maybe listening to this or maybe not listening, or sitting in a shitty fucking hotel room who just got paid whatever he got, and it's like, y'all might just give up on this shit.
Shit. Fuck the shitty hotel. This motherfucker is probably sitting in his car. Like,
even worse. There's stories that Stone Cold used to eat potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, when he was broke as hell, but there's more options now to like, yeah, I'm not going to make WWE money or maybe AEW, but I'll make, $60K a year.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who are in the business, they're like, yo, I could do Impact and do independent shows, sell some merch, and make a quality living. So it's a great time to be a wrestler. It's just, I always tell my wrestling fans, like, yo, get your shit out there. Yeah. Promote your shit. Get your shit out there. Just keep pushing, promote your brand, get on Twitter. Like, you do what you got to do. Like, I am a firm believer in putting out your content. If you don't put out your content and promote, you ain't getting nothing. Nobody's walking up to your crib to give you a job, especially if you black.
Yeah, you was 100% right. It's just, watching wrestling for so long, as far back as I can remember it, and just seeing it evolve and it change to what it is right now is just fucking amazing to me, man. And it's just like, I'm glad that that bubble around me, which was WWE, finally fucking broke, because I was missing so much shit. We all were like, we got to give praise to the one of the wrestling gods, Jeff Jarrett, for brokering that New Japan deal so we can get that on American TV.
It's taking care of this. It's seeing so much dope shit. Like, so many NXT matches were done already in the independent scene.
Yeah.
Like, so many of those matches, and many of us don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's like what you said. It's like, but it's also, I remember seeing Isaiah Swerve Scott on the independent scene. He came to New York, and I love his entrance music, whatever. And I was like, yo, who the fuck is this guy?
My experience with him, I seen him doing an intergender match on CZW while he was the Wired champion.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience seeing him or whatever. And I was like, this dude got some long ass legs. And he was fighting a lady. And I was like, this is blowing my mind right now. This tall ass dude fighting this little bitty lady. And they put on a hell of a match. And I was like, that boy good. That boy good.
I remember meeting Leo Rush for the first time. And this was when it's like way before he got to WWE. Mm-hmm. I saw him in the match. I was like, yo, holy fucking shit. And I actually talked this into existence. I remember I was trying to get an interview with him, and didn't really happen. And next thing you know, 2 years later, I end up interviewing him. But I remember seeing him for the first time, like, oh my God. But it's like when you find those independent wrestlers before they make it, it's like finding a musician before it's cool to like them. You're like, oh shit, like, I'm a huge Weeknd fan. So I remember I was listening to the Weeknd before he was this multi-million-dollar guy. He's doing the Super Bowl.
Listening to him when you was listening to him when he was the weekday.
Yeah, basically. Like, this is all this old shit. But it's the scene right now is beautiful, man. It's just like there's so much talent out there. I have some friends who are in the business, and I love seeing them like move up in the ranks. Like, yo, that's me. Like, my girlfriend's a massive like independent wrestling fan. Massive, like, and that's her thing.
Now those are rare.
Yeah, and she's not ugly, so it's like even better.
Yeah, so that's extra rare. You need to hold on to that one. Make that work.
Yeah, like, she's hot and she likes wrestling. Damn, B. Like, I was like, you ain't going nowhere. When we first started talking, and she's just like, we're arguing about, because she's a huge Stone Cold fan.
Okay.
We were arguing because I'm a huge rock fan. We were arguing back and forth about that. I was like, oh, you can't go nowhere. There was one night we got into a massive argument. It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I was like, you are not going anywhere. We are going to figure this shit out because I'm not losing you. She's like, this is too much. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Let's talk this out. Because in the back of my head, I was like, I'm not gonna find you another you ever again. Like, and we get along? Like, hell fucking no.
Now put this goddamn match on and let's watch this shit.
Yeah, I was like, yo, you are not going. No, no. Sit down. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna work through this problem that we're having right now. I'm not communicating right. Okay, I'll do better. Like, we're gonna figure this out, and we figured it out. Obviously, we're still together, but it's nah, you're not going nowhere. Yeah. Like, the only way you're leaving me if you do some fucked up shit
or die.
Like, or die. Like, like we'll figure the fuck this out. Like, you too good.
She found out about my wrestling fandom. We was in the getting to know each other phase or whatever. And I was just like, I like wrestling. She was like, oh, that's cool. And then she started seeing how much I liked wrestling. And she's like, oh, you like wrestling? I was like, yeah, we go on to this show. Let's go. Because shit, I remember she was one of the last shows that we went together live. Because I would take the kids all the time, but when we were dating, I took her to 2 shows. TNA came to Savannah, Georgia on St. Patrick's Day, which was a big mistake because 1, it was running opposite of a Medea play. 2, it was St. Patrick's Day, which Savannah, Georgia hosts one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the United States. So that's 2 things they already fucked up on. And I think also Kevin Hart was playing around the area as well. So they was just fucking up all over the place. And here we are, knowing all this shit is going on. We at the fucking wrestling show, right?
Was there only like 2 of y'all there?
It was a pretty decent crowd because like this was the era when where there was Gunner and Murphy. They were a tag team, and I think Gunner was the belt that they always changed. It was the Genesis belt, then it was the Legends belt, then it was the red one.
The X division?
No, not the X division. Nah, it was the Legends belt. Then it was some other title. It was the red one, the one that Lashley had for a while.
Okay.
And Gunner had that, and then freaking Scott Steiner was still there. They were selling Pope merchandise, but the Pope wasn't there. And freaking what's his name? The one that sold all the merch and was yelling all the time. Don Callis, not Don Callis. Not Don Callis is with Kenny Omega. The other Don West. He was there selling the brown bag giveaways and shit. They had Hardy merchandise. It was just a weird ass show. And that was the first one I ever took her to. That was the one I made her go to. We going to see the wrestling show, goddammit. And I took her. And then the next time I took her, she was like 7 months pregnant, and it was a SmackDown show. And I almost beat a motherfucker ass because we was like in the front row. And the dude in front of us got all hype and shit. And he went up and he like bumped the chair back, and it got close to her, too close for comfort for me because she carried my baby in there. And I was like, hey, motherfucker! About the damn fight in the goddamn show. And she was like, I'll never forget that because I believe that's the maddest at the time I ever seen you get and shit. And I was just like, this is my baby, you know?
Nah, you're right, bro. It's I've dated girls who didn't like wrestling. She's actually the first girl I've ever dated that loves wrestling as much as I do, maybe even more. And dating people who don't like wrestling is not that bad because most women will be like, yo, you know what? This is what you love. This is your thing. Yo, go ahead. But there was one chick I dated, and I remember at the time I was living with, we were living together, and we were watching SmackDown. We were watching one of the women's matches. And I'm a very patient person. But when you press that button and when you talk shit about wrestling,
press the button.
I'm gonna go off. So, and this probably was a downfall of our relationship after this one. We're watching the show, SmackDown, and I think it's a women's match on. And she's like, this shit looks so fucking fake. This is fucking horrible. Ugh. And she's just talking shit, sitting there. And I'm just like,
can you shut the fuck up?
Basically, that's why I was like, shut the fuck up. Fuck you. This is my livelihood. Fuck you. And I was just going off. And for some reason, that's one of my biggest triggers ever. Because I was another time I'm at work. And I'm minding my business. So our break room is like in the basement of the job. And I just finished working out because I work at a gym. And I went to Chipotle. I got like my little burrito bowl, you know, no rice, just meat and veggies, whatever. I'm eating and I got like a small bag of like baby-sized bag of like Chipotle chips.
Chips, yeah.
I grabbed my phone, I copped it up. I was watching some like wrestling news because I have a podcast. I'm trying to stay up on the news in case I missed anything for the week. And she was a coworker from another gym though. So she comes downstairs and she's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, hey, what's up? And I'm in the zone. Like I got my food, got my wrestling, I'm enjoying myself. I'm in my moment. I just finished work, had a great workout, whatever. And she's like, yo, why is that bag of chips so small? I was like, oh, it's a kid size from Chipotle. I didn't want to get too much chips. I want to keep the carbs low. And she's like, oh, okay. And she hears like people falling onto the mat, the grunting and everything. Yeah. And she goes, what are you watching? I was like, oh, I'm watching some wrestling. She's like, how old are you? I said, excuse me? She's like, how old are you? She made a face too. She's like, how old are you? I was like, why are you asking me that? She's like, you're watching wrestling and eating a baby chips. I was like,
I said, hey, these two are mutually exclusive, goddammit. You work in the gym, you should know how this shit work. First of all, I'm insulted.
So I looked at her and I was like, excuse me? I was like, you ever been in a wrestling gym, in the wrestling ring? She was like, no. I was like, exactly. You couldn't do it anyways. And she was like, how do you know that? I was like, I know you couldn't do it because you asked that dumbass question. And making this dumbass comments. She was like, oh, why you gotta be so? I was like, you can leave. And then she like grabbed the stuff and she walked out. But it was just like, yo, I'm minding my business.
I just gotta fucking pump my adrenaline up.
Yeah, because adrenaline was through the roof. I just finished working out. You think you better than me. I'm just trying to enjoy my little time to myself. Leave me the fuck alone. Just go the fuck upstairs. But right now, my current relationship, we've talked about if we ever get married, we're doing like WWE type entrances.
So I've seen these or whatever, and they pretty fucking cool or whatever. I've seen people have like somewhat of like a ring announcing and shit, and announcing them, you know, just like how I would do at a event and shit. So you got to tell me, if we're gonna have a wrestling theme, goddamn wedding and shit, what is the goddamn intro music? What is we walking down the aisle to, or when they be like, now I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Jabba Tears, and damn, what is bringing y'all in?
We already told each other, because she's a huge Macho Man fan. That's her favorite wrestler of all time. I mean, so we're gonna do the Macho Man Miss Elizabeth type of entrance.
Oh, you gonna put up on the shoulder and
put on the shoulder, and if I'm making the amount of money I need to be making, I'm gonna get the whole ring, the little motorized ring that coming down and everything, and up in the ring. I'm going all the fuck out. and then I low key want all my groomsmen to be wearing referee shirts.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Referee shirts. I'm dressed up as Macho Man. She dressed up as Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, I like it. I'm seeing it in my mind right now.
Yeah,
I can dig it.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. And if I am popping enough or she popping enough, I get either Devon or fucking Big E to do the wedding.
Oh, don't you dare be sour!
Imagine Big E or Devon ordaining my wedding. Like, come on.
Oh, testify.
I'll pay them.
Yeah. Hey, shit.
I
don't know. Big E seems like a person he might do it for free.
He might.
I don't know. Depending on how that cameo money is. But then again, I don't know. Is he still doing that? Can he still do that?
No, he can't. He can't because they got rid of that third party action.
You know, I think that's his fault, right?
Why?
Because he was talking about it too much on the podcast, and to top it off, what is not coincidence. He was always talking about it on the podcast, putting it over, and then he got them trunks made, talking about follow me on Cameo on the shit, and then right after that, all the shit started. It's Big E fault, I'm telling you.
I wouldn't be surprised because that man's the king of promo. Those boys know how to put themselves over. They know how to put themselves over, so I wouldn't be surprised. But they were all making some money, though. Mm-hmm. I heard Lana was like taking off of third-party companies. Mm-hmm. She's a hot blonde, so she was just in the bikini, just getting these checks.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, so what are your thoughts on that, though? Like, I mean, they're just them putting the kibosh on people third-party stuff and kind of like taking it in for themselves and kind of doling dough out to them or whatever.
Are they giving them money?
That's my assumption. I mean, because I don't follow it too much, but from what I understand of it is they can't do it directly, but they can do it under the WWE umbrella.
If they get paid a little bit of royalties off of it, I have no problem with that. I understand because you got to understand because I see it two ways. The reason why most of them have a name is because of the WWE platform.
And that's the viewpoint of the company, I believe. It's just like, you couldn't do this if it wasn't for me. So why are you, which is still, it makes sense, but it's still fucked up,
It makes sense, but it's a little still fucked up because it's like, damn, because the reason why a lot of them jumped on Cameo, on Twitch, all this other shit because of the pandemic, they weren't making money. Mm-hmm. Their downside, what they were making wasn't enough because granted, you get a WWE contract, you make a decent amount of money. Mm-hmm. But the money makers are on the upper echelon.
Yeah. and then you make your money, but you always still got to deduct for travel, hotel, your gear if they're not making it for you, and
Yeah.
your food, just living pretty much.
Just living. So you're making a decent living, but it's the extra money. You always want that extra money. You don't want nobody taking away from your extra money.
Mhm.
But I see where the company's coming from. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But I understand both sides. Now, if I had to pick a side, I'm picking the creator side. Like, yo, bro, like, I need this little bit extra change that's coming in. Can I keep it? But I wish that they had worked out a better deal. Like, yo, listen, everything's under the umbrella. You get a 20. We do a split.
Yeah.
We'll distribute all your shit, but you got to split off of it. Just like we take care of your merch.
Yeah.
You get a % off of it. I think it should be that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm under the assumption that it is. I mean, I don't know for a fact. I don't work for the company, but that's what I feel that it is. It's just damn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you're doing a Twitch or whatever thing, I mean, we shell you off for your efforts.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. But they got a new team over there that's really trying to. You know what it is? They're trying to get into that digital market space and dominate it.
Yeah,
because they know what the future's looking like.
Yeah, they are capitalizing big time. Because I mean, shit, you talked about it earlier. They getting bees thrown at them. Just like, we'll give you a couple billion. Wow. Oh, thank you. Pretty much. And then they're making more money. And I mean, it's kind of they pull that third party shit because I mean they losing money in certain places as well because they don't do live shows anymore and the merch they would sell at live shows and all this other stuff. So I mean, but then again, they're keeping money at the same time because they're not doing live shows, so they don't have to pay for the gas up the trucks and all this other shit and all that and this. And so I mean, it's just a weird space right now.
They lost money and they got rid of people they felt weren't needed in the company. Like a lot of people was like, well,
which they should have been doing anyway.
Well, they were keeping people because they didn't want them to go to AEW.
Well, just anywhere, period, really. I mean, but shit, yeah. I mean, just because I can understand that from a business standpoint or whatever, but you ain't doing shit with them. And some of them, even though you got them, some of them is garbage. And they would do better to go somewhere and do something else.
Yeah, like that's like it wasn't working, but they try to keep them, and then they looked even worse, like from a visual standpoint, like just the perception of it is like you're releasing people during a pandemic, but most of them they weren't going to do anything with them in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing, and I don't know the business behind things. We can only speculate.
Yeah.
Because AEW is losing money.
Yeah.
They said it. They're not making any money. They're losing, but they decided not to release anybody. But I'm telling you this right. Every big company has skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
It's just that WWE is a public company, and we get to see all their fucking skeletons.
Yeah.
Their closet is wide the fuck open.
Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit of that on your show and whatnot because you're talking about Tony Khan. It's like a mob boss and shit doing mob boss shit.
Oh, like yo, I am not. Listen, I said on the show, and I'll say it here, like I'm not mad at him making these motherfuckers sign NDAs. I'm not mad at him of him paying off, and they'll say no, but paying the fucking wrestling media. Like, yo, here's his bag. You're going to do it. That's what all entertainment companies do. Fucking if you're a rapper at the when music was like in a different space and radio was needed, they were dropping off a paper bag with money to a DJ at a local radio station to get your record played.
Yep.
It's the same game. It's just a different type of way of entertainment.
Yeah. They are,
WWE does it too.
of course, yeah. They in the bed with motherfuckers, man. And I thought it was funny, like the later on years or whatever, because they try to get ahead of spoilers and shit. So they'll be like, "Oh, this just released on TMZ that such and such did this." I was like, "Okay, this isn't news. I mean, you're just trying to get out of there ahead of it. I mean, I can kind of respect that, but I just think it's funny."
It's hilarious. It's the business. Because I remember when I said on the podcast, I don't know if when it was NXT was first coming around or like a little bit after, when NXT was about to go to USA, they invited the wrestling media to come to the performance center to like get a tour. More like, yo, hey, like talk some good stuff about it. Put out some good ratings about it. It's like you have half of the wrestling media on your fucking pre-show for pay-per-views nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally okay. It's part of the business. The fans, dictate what they like and what they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. The media can do whatever they want to say, but the fans are the real critics of it.
Mm-hmm. With all these companies, in play now, we are seeing an influx of talent coming in at a rapid pace. We are seeing guys as young as 19 and 20 wrestling on national television. It's pretty much like an arms race and everything. I mean, we trying to get up all the munitions so we can go to war or whatever, and we have all the ammo that we need to fight. So do you feel that this could hurt some of those guys and gals being sucked into the system so early, or you think it's a good thing?
It's a beautiful thing. And in some ways, you can say like, no, this is a bad thing because they're not getting their feet wet, whatever, in the independent scene. But you learn structure. Mm-hmm. You learn, let's say you end up in WWE, you are in the WWE of wrestling, which is a super structured way of doing things. You understand the business. You'll be around fucking legends who've been in business for years. So it's a great opportunity and you should fucking take it. Same thing if you end up in AEW. You're 2021 and you're new. You can learn so fucking much, especially if you're around the right people that will teach you the business and that will tell you how to maneuver within the business. Because let's say, for instance, you're 2021, 23, whatever, like a guy like Drew McIntyre. You come in, it doesn't fucking work out for you. You end up going back in the independent scene. You end up making a shit ton of money in the independent scene because you were a former WWE or AEW person. Mm-hmm. So you go back, make yourself even more hot, reinvent yourself, because when you're young and you're in that the machine, you kind of don't grow into yourself, which is like the bad part about it. You kind of have you find yourself, it's harder to find yourself because you got the chains on you. Mm-hmm. But with the knowledge that you gain from there and you go back into the independent scene, you can absolutely learn who your fucking self and come back even hotter. It's an opportunity is an opportunity. You can't deny that. And you're getting paid a legit rate.
So how do you feel about like people getting sucked up that early for AEW and Ring of Honor and other places like that? Because your first example was WWE. Because anybody can go to WWE, and as soon as you get that label on you, use this fresh, hot shit when you go back down. But if you go to ROH first, can you go somewhere else and be like, oh, former ROH star, this and that and the third?
But it's still an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So let's say, for instance, you go to ROH, right? ROH is not that huge. What is it? Like ROH is like third, fourth on the list right now. I think MLW took his spot at number 3. You go to ROH. If you're consistently getting booked, you're building a name for yourself, and you can get booked outside, and you're still learning from legends, because there's a couple of great stars in ROH that have been in business for a long time. It's still an opportunity. It's a structured place, not as structured as WWE and AEW. If you're signed, You might not be on TV, but they'll see you a lot. You're still an AEW star. Remember that. You still an AEW person.
Yeah.
You still got the AEW and WWE is an extra $200 with your hot dog. Guaranteed. Guaranteed the extra $200 with your hot dog.
You want some relish on that dog, baby?
Yeah. You'll get that relish, that mustard, and you get an extra $200. Because you were a WWE ROH guy. Impact, another example. Still an opportunity to be on TV.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you get,
you know what I mean?
Especially you get to share the screen with Kiera Hogan.
Oh yeah. I've met her in person. She's a small, beautiful woman.
Oh yes, I've met her in person too, and she's been on my show.
Oh, super nice. We've interviewed her actually before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely lady. Anyway, but what I do enjoy that's going on in professional wrestling, the stuff that's going on New Japan. I don't think we've mentioned New Japan at any point in this interview except for when I referenced Jeff Jarrett. But what I'm enjoying about New Japan right now is the caliber or just the different variety of young lions that they're starting to get in now.
Of course.
Yeah, so I seen the black dude, young lion. I was like, whoa, god damn, I need to do the Naito. I was like, look at that there, look at that there.
New Japan wrestling is like a whole different breed. Like
it's a whole new world. Yes.
You don't even have to talk and you're dripping with charisma.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different thing. I never get to catch everything when I want to, because it's, I did watch a lot of Wrestle Kingdom when it came on, but it was like it's 4 a.m. over here, and I'm getting ready for work as I'm watching on my phone on a shady link that my boy sent me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly my shady link that my boy allegedly, my boy sent me and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I'm happy with this whole like US thing that they got going on and stuff of that nature. And it's some of the purest form of wrestling you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they had more black people there, but okay, that's a different conversation.
Hey, we got ACH working over there right now. We got the Keith, I forget his first, Kevin Keith or Kevin Knight or something. That's the young lion, the black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Leo is working there off and on. So that's 3 that I can think of.
Well, it's what it is for me. I love what they're doing, but like they very few times that they push that black guy to the top. Because they'll put a white boy there and put him at the leader of the Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
And make him a superstar.
Yeah.
Granted, the white boy that they made a superstar besides Jay White, I ain't mad at it. We got Kenny, Finn.
Well, so we'll lead right into that or whatever. Because I mean, I have had my unpopular opinions of wrestlers on my show, and I would like to hear some of yours. When I speak of unpopular opinions, what professional wrestler that everybody is swearing to God that's freaking the hottest thing since sliced bread that you disagree with? Because mine, for example, is Finn Balor and Okada. They're just not my cup of tea.
I'm not with you on Okada. Now, Finn, I don't think Finn is blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
I think Finn is a star,
mm-hmm.
but I don't think he's blockbuster. I've been saying it for years, and I've been saying it especially recently, and everybody's like, you're fucking crazy. And I'm just like, nah, I don't think Finn Balor's blockbuster. I think he's great in the ring. I enjoy his matches. Listen, he ain't blockbuster. My other person is Jon Moxley.
I can see it.
I think, hold on for a second. My headphones is acting up.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Jon Moxley is a megastar.
Mm-hmm.
I respect every wrestler.
Yeah.
I think Jon Moxley's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is the Chris Bosh of the Shield.
I think he is the equivalent of what Aquaman is to Superman and Batman. I just don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
no beef. No beef, but those are my two who I'm just like, I guess.
Yeah.
But everybody loves them.
Yeah. Well, see, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you on certain points or whatever. It's just like I am not discounting their relevance in the business or the accolades that they achieved in the business. It's just like they're just not my cup of tea. Some people like broccoli, some people don't. That's just what it is.
and it's totally fine because I have a homegirl who always like, yo, I'm riding with Moxie. I was like, I don't care. You can ride with John. I don't give a fuck. I don't like Aquaman, aka Chris Bosh, aka John Moxley. Now, this Sunday, I will be tuned in to watch him and Kenny Soul Glow Omega go at it in this ridiculous bomb, bullet, bomb, barbed wire, whatever the fuck they're calling it. Because I want to see some violence.
Yes.
So I'm going to tune in. And I'm 9 out of 10, I will thoroughly be enjoying that shit. But he still ain't my man.
That's what I was waiting on. But no, because I mean that's the same thing. Like with the example that I gave with Finn Balor or whatever. I mean, here in Houston, I think this was their last live show that they did in front of people here. They did the Worlds Collide show here, and they did the Royal Rumble here. And I was not going to go to the World Collide show until they put Finn Balor against Dragunov on the card. And I was like, yo, they putting Dragunov in there with Finn Balor. I need to go see this show. And it wasn't because it was Finn Balor that I wanted to go see this show, because I wanted to see motherfucking Dragunov. And I was like, they had enough confidence in this dude's ability to put him in there with Finn Balor. And then, they value Finn Balor. So I was like, oh shit, I want to go see this now. but he still ain't my man.
Yeah, and it's fine. We all got these, we all have, it's, what I say, wrestling is like music. So it's all like, different tastes. Like you said, it's a broccoli thing.
Word.
But yeah, for me, it's Finn and John Moxley. And I think those are my two. I ain't loving them, but I respect them.
So is there anybody on your radar right now that you think should be the forefront of somebody's company?
There's a couple. I think Shane Taylor. He's with
let's talk about him real quick. Every time I hear that name, all I see in my mind's eye is them childbearing hips he got. What's up with that, man? I just like, I hear he's doing great things, but it's just like I see him and I just see like, dude, you look like a cello, and is throwing me the fuck off.
So he's trying to lose. I just had him on our podcast actually.
Shout out to Shane.
But
I'll cut all this out. So
no. I'm gonna keep it up 100% because he's working on the body, so he knows that. His in-ring ability is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is he's putting other black wrestlers on. And he's turning Shane Taylor Productions in STP into something to maybe one day be a Bullet Club for black wrestlers.
Okay.
So I fucks with him because of his in-ring ability and the fact that he's one of those dudes that's putting other people on. He's one. I really, really like Ricky Starks.
Yeah, that dude. Like I know he wasn't he in MLW for a little bit.
Yeah, he was an MLW for a little bit.
I heard his name there. I never seen anything of him until he hit AEW.
Yeah. So I fucks with them. WWE. To be honest, most of the people that I fucks with WWE are getting pushes right now.
I think Bobby Lashley, man.
Yo, bro.
That should have been since day one, you know.
We all been saying it, but they weren't put in a position for him to win. And you know what I mean? That they weren't put him in a position to win, and but now they got him with MVP in it, and it's fucking amazing.
MVP is truly the MVP.
Fucking he put the work in. He put the work in. That's another brother you got to be like, yo, thank you for helping other people out and get motherfuckers to grow.
Yep. One of my favorite professional wrestlers, one of my favorite United States champions. Motherfucking MVP. I lost my shit at the Royal Rumble, not because Edge came back, because motherfucking MVP was there and he was wearing the motherfucking Black Panther outfit. I was like, take me now, Jesus. I can go now.
Yo, he definitely doing his thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely doing his thing.
Appreciate that dude so much.
You got to. Who else I'm fucking with right now? Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about that guy.
Oh man, that's a talent. Mm-hmm. That's Samoan genetic gene pool, boy.
Yes.
That's different.
So we know it's not a Samoan drop when they do it, right? Because they are Samoan, so it's just a drop.
Basically. But it's that he's another. He lost some weight too.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I was at a show in Jersey probably about a week or two ago, and Jacob Fatu popped up, and I was like, I didn't recognize him. That's how small he got.
Word.
I was like, oh, I thought it was like one of their cousins or something.
Yeah, man, because I seen him, because I'm starting to make my way toward MLW and everything. I just had a Zenchi on my show not too long ago, and I heard the name and people tout him to me and whatnot. And when he was bigger or whatever, like stature wise, I mean, he gave me the Umaga vibes. And I was like, yeah, that's that dude. You look like you can run over a motherfucking tanker truck and just be fine. Just be like, this is cool. But
nah, he's killing it, man. Like I said, that's Samoan bloodline, bro. Did you watch the Yokozuna documentary?
No, I'm gonna get to it though.
You need to.
Very well.
You absolutely need to, because you start looking at that whole fucking Peter Maivia's whole fucking right nut just fucking created fucking legends. Listen, it's the truth. Mm-hmm. His right nut created motherfucking legends in this business.
Yeah.
The Rock, Roman, the Usos, Yokozuna, Rikishi, the Wild Samoans, like, yo, the list goes on.
Yeah. And then shit, they got some Usos floating around there that look just like Jay and Jimmy, man. I was like, God damn, because I remember when they was doing the Hall of Fame, they were sitting out in the crowd, and I was like, that ain't Jay and that ain't Jimmy, but that must be just Jay, Jimmy, and James. That must be James, because he looked just like those other two motherfuckers. I was like, golly, y'all close together.
All look alike. All these motherfuckers look alike, man. Fucking, it's a fucking amazing shit.
All right. But on another note, still professional wrestling adjacent. Mm-hmm. I gotta ask this, because you seem like you consume a lot of wrestling. You put a lot of wrestling through your eyeballs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me why male and female, just about every black wrestler does some variation of the flatliner. the pay dirt, or whatever the hell you call it. Tell me why.
Say that again. Say the last part.
Why do every black wrestler, male or female, have some variation of the flatliner in their arsenal?
Maybe it's like,
is it our move? Because if it's our move, I'll give it its due, because that's our move then. But just about every black professional wrestler that I've seen has some variation of the flatliner, pay dirt, or whatever the hell you want to call it. They have it.
I don't know. Maybe it's just this part of this being a black wrestler. I didn't notice that. You're right.
I want it to be the official move. That's because once I've noticed it, because I mean, maybe we just predisposed to liking that move. Because I tell you what, before I started noticing this, when we would get the WWE 2K games or just any WWE game in general, that is a part of my arsenal. That is either my finisher or my signature. So I mean, I have some wrestling experience, and I swear to God, if I ever had like a match where I was able to create a moveset, it would be in my arsenal. So are we predisposed as black people to gravitate toward this move? And if so, today, because I said it more than once, but today, officially, since you're here, we dubbing this our move. We're going to do it today. We're going to do it right now at 9:44 Central Time.
So yeah. I think it is.
Because I mean, Bobby Lashley. I'm gonna go off the WWE people that I know off the top of my head. Bobby Lashley, R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander. That's just 5 right off the top of my head. I know there's more. Swerve.
It's our move. It's our move.
Yeah.
It's our move, bro.
Big Swole, she do it. Brandy did it when she was wrestling. ACH did a variation of it. These are just people that I pull off my head because I made like a 4-minute clip of just black wrestlers doing the move. MVP did it once or twice at a time. So yeah, that's our move. That's our move now.
You got it.
The official move of the black professional wrestler.
You definitely got that. Definitely got that.
Yeah.
Shit. Damn.
See, yeah. Throw it on a t-shirt. Make it merch. I move. We need to get with A Dazzle over there on the Black Wrestling Alliance. Get him to put that in his his little pamphlet or whatever. It's our move.
Adrian.
Yeah, A Dazzle. I call him A and B Dazzle because he's special.
Yeah, he's that's a good dude right there, man. That's one of the beautiful things about wrestling is I've met a lot of people from the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's brought a lot of brought a lot of people. Actually, I meet my girlfriend. Wrestling Twitter got me to meet my girlfriend.
Word. And I was able to go to before all this pandemic shit happened, I have been to every WrestleMania since 31.
Nice.
Except for 33. That was the one when The Undertaker retired or whatever. I'm glad I didn't go there.
Been to a pay-per-view.
Huh?
I still haven't been to a WWE pay-per-view.
At all? No. Like not one?
Not one.
Why?
I always do the viewing parties.
True. But you can take an off day, my dude.
One day I would.
Yeah. Because, I mean, shit, it was right there in Jersey. Fucking MetLife. I was there, too.
WrestleMania. Oh. No. From what people told me from that night, so did you go?
Yes, I went.
So from what I was told, this is from people, you tell me if I'm wrong, It was so hard to go back home.
For them, it was. Because we didn't fuck around. We had a car. So damn, soon as that last match was over, fuck that pyro. We left the building, got in the car, and we were home in under 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but all the people waiting on transit and Ubers and all the other bullshit, yeah, they didn't go the fuck home. But we got the fuck home. We even stopped and got something to eat.
Okay. Because the people that was telling me it was fucking horrible. It was raining. It was cold and shit. I was like, damn.
I was tucked away in my bed by then, so I didn't give a fuck what they was going through.
Where did you stay in New York? You stayed in Jersey.
We didn't stay too far from the stadium because that's why we got back so fast. So wherever the surrounding area was, because I didn't book the room or whatever, and I had no plans on going to the show at all because my WrestleMania experience has been by coincidence or happenstance or whatever the case may be. Because the first one, my mom bought me a ticket and said, "You going?" I was like, okay, because WrestleMania fell on March 29th that year, which is this guy's birthday. So she bought that to me as a freaking birthday ticket. I mean, a birthday present. So she was like, "Here's my credit card information, find you a ticket and a plane ticket and everything. And just let me know how much everything costs." I was like, okay. So she sent me to WrestleMania for my very first time on my birthday. Nice. So I got to see 31, see the greatest heist of the century. And I was content with that. I was like, I got to see one in my lifetime. I'm good. I saw the Saints win a Super Bowl, and I've been to a WrestleMania in my lifetime. I'm good. Take me down, Jesus. Not really. Knock on wood. And then 32, that was the one in Dallas. They crowned the first women's champion of this era. You know, that's when they brought the new belt. Lita introduced that one. I was there for that one. I was on the side where Shane McMahon fell off the cage and bust his belly button open and did all that crazy shit. And I didn't plan on going to that one. My brother called me up out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, you went to WrestleMania last year, right?" I was like, "Yeah." "Oh, okay. Well, I want to get you a ticket. So damn, just go ahead and look it up online and tell me how much it costs and I'll buy it for you." I was like, Okay. Thanks. I said, it wasn't my birthday. It didn't fall on March 29th this year, but okay. So I went to that one. Then 33 came around. That's the Orlando one. I was like, no way in hell this shit gonna happen 3 times in a row. And it didn't. And then New Orleans came around. And I made for damn show that I was going to that one because I got screwed out of 2 WrestleManias in the past. When they went to Houston, I believe 2010 maybe or something like that. I was going to go to that one. I was like, because I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. That's 2 hours away from Houston. I was like, This will be my first WrestleMania. It's close to home. It's going to be as close to my hometown as I can get from my first WrestleMania. Hey, player, go on this deployment real quick. So I missed it because I went on a deployment. Then they went to New Orleans the first time for 30. Daniel Bryan, both of the titles. I was gonna go, motherfucking New Orleans, my home state. We going. You want to catch this deployment real quick, player? So I got caught on 2 deployments for 2 WrestleManias in the vicinity of my hometown. That would have been my first time ever going. So when it came around this time for this WrestleMania in New Orleans, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going. I'm here in Houston. That's a 5-hour drive. I ate that shit. Just riding down the highway, eating Slim Jims and going to WrestleMania. And I made that one. And then the next one, which was so I get my timelines mixed up. So that was 1, 2, skip 33, 34 New Orleans, and then this one. Yeah, the damn one in MetLife. I went to that one. And I wasn't going to go to that one, but somebody I knew because of the internet, because of the wrestling community on Twitter, somebody I knew that was like, "Hey man, you know anybody that want to buy a ticket to WrestleMania? Because I have an extra one and I'm just trying to sell it." And I was like, "Word? How much?" And it's like, "For the low." Word? So I was like, "Hey baby, Miss B Rob, signature up there on the wall right there. I think I know some, because at this point in time, the tickets were sold out. You couldn't go online and get them unless you're going like way high third party and shit. And I was like, hey, I know somebody that might have a ticket and I might want to go to WrestleMania. She's like, well, your birthday is coming up. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, Lord, thank you. I was like, hey, dog, let me get that ticket, player. And my homeboy was like, no, I'm lying. I am completely lying. That's how New Orleans wound up. I drove to New Orleans, but that's how I got the ticket for New Orleans. The way it came from MetLife Stadium, my homeboy, he was still in the military. He was stationed in Rhode Island. And he said he was going to WrestleMania. I was like, nah, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to go. He's like, hey, we haven't seen each other in a while. If I'm going, I'll get you a ticket and you just have to get there. You just have to, find a way to get there. And I got an extra ticket. A guy that was coming with me, he dropped out. I was like, bet, baby. I might have a ticket, because that was a similar conversation. Hey, I might have a ticket. She's like, all I gotta do is get the plane ticket, and I got a ticket. My homeboy Nick, who do the rest of this trash with me, he said he's gonna give me a ticket and everything like that. She's like, all right, it is your birthday, because it's always around my birthday,
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll get you the plane ticket. Call up Nick. Hey, man, we gonna get it, man. She said I can go. He's like, hey, my homeboy said changed his mind and he going.
Fuck.
So exactly, fuck. So now I gotta scramble, try to find me a WrestleMania ticket and shit. So I get a ticket. 70 something bucks. But it is at the very top.
You were in heaven talking to Jesus, Judas, whatever
There's video of me on Instagram peering over the top of the building down to the parking lot. That's how high up I was. I was at the top of the motherfucking building.
Did you see anything?
It was a great view. I mean, you could see everything, but like the ring looked like this goddamn big. But let's bring it full circle, my man, because we'll kind of close it out here. Remember what we was talking about in the beginning about how the choices we make and the path that we choose lead us to the place that we need to be, or we meant to be, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was meant to be there because my friends, the one that had a ticket for me, but it got snatched away because his homeboy changed his mind or whatever. Yeah. Shout outs to Daniel if he listened to this, motherfucker. They were sitting down in the 300s. They was down low. Yeah. At the very top. I'm up high. So I'm sitting there. Wind just hit me in the face, birds flying by and shit. Cloud all up in my shit, and like I'm looking like Goku and shit, riding on Nimbus. Damn, he called me. He's like, hey man, ain't nobody down here around us. Just come sit down here. Once the pre-show start and people start filling in, I mean, I guess you can just go back up. You can just come down here and chill with us. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I can do that. So go down, sit with them in the 300s. I mean, I'm not sitting directly with them on their row. I'm just like sitting around in the empty seats that they got available down there. And we just chilling, just talking, hanging out. People start coming in, if I'm in somebody's seat, I just move over to the next one, And that happened for a little while. Then the first match for the pre-show kickoff. And I'm sitting in the seat. And ain't nobody coming. So second match in the pre-show happened. Somebody came in my seat. So I moved up to the row that they were on because seats next to them were empty. So I'm sitting next to the three people that bought tickets that I know that came here for this show. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting next to them now. Pre-show is over. The show is starting. All the seats are filled except for the one I'm sitting in and the one next to me. So I was like, all right. So whenever these people come, they're going to have these two seats. Yeah. Show is on. We are in the show. Light is in my face during the Randy Orton AJ match because that was the issue at that WrestleMania. That had a spotlight that was like extra bright and it was in people's face and they couldn't see it. I was at that point in the show. Nobody came.
Awesome.
So that whole WrestleMania, I sat in those seats next to my friends.
And enjoyed the show.
the whole show. Got to see Kofi win and everything. The whole show, beginning to end, WrestleMania. I didn't watch the fireworks because I was trying to get the fuck out of there and get to the crib, but it was meant to be.
Yeah.
All them seats in that arena, all the space in this motherfucker, all the people that came from far and wide, from here to there, to this event, and that one seat was open for me to sit in.
Mm-hmm.
Serendipity. Had to be. I had to be there.
Serendipity as a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. So, hey man, it be what it be.
Perfect.
I couldn't have been no more perfect. And then we had Raymond James Stadium last year, and I had a plane ticket. I had a place to stay. I was ready to go. And then COVID said, "Hey, you want to catch the deployment play?"
Oh man.
Shit, I would have went to this one too, but I'm not ready for that yet. So I might catch Dallas because Dallas is like 3 or 4 hours away from me. I drive right up the road to that one.
Yeah, because I still haven't been to one, but I told myself one day I'll go to one WrestleMania. But I probably might do a pay-per-view later this year though.
Yeah, you in the area to what they just like they bombard that place. Well,
The Northeast?
Well, yeah, it's not like that now.
No, they do. We got 3 SummerSlams in a row.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, New York the Northeast is taken care of when it comes to wrestling. Like we're taking. I went to every Raw post SummerSlam.
But that's crazy though. You've been to live shows, but you never been to a pay-per-view.
Because I'm always doing the pay-per-view viewing parties.
Yeah, man, you need to learn to delegate, brother. But yeah, man. Speaking of Northeastern time and everything, you're an hour ahead of me, so it's getting close to the midnight hour, and I believe this is a good place to slide off into that good night, sir. But before you go, let everybody know where they can find you on social media and everything you got going on.
So the name is Sir Wilkins. I am on all forms of social media. You can find me at SIR_Wilkins on Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, on all those social media websites. I am 1/3 of the Jobbeteers podcast. You can find us on social media as well. Jobbeteers, JOBBER, Tears, TARS on Twitter, and the Jobbeteers podcast, one word, on Instagram. And you can find my coffee talks on there as well.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of disappointed you didn't have a cup of coffee, but it is late and I know you don't want to be up. So
I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be up, brother.
Yeah. But as it is for every guest of the Random Ramblings with Rob, the door is always open. Well, not literally, for you to come back to promote your next big thing or just to come shoot the shit.
I will definitely come back. I definitely enjoy it. Thank you for having me. And I'm happy we got to work this out, baby boy.
Yes, sir.